Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, and we're going to be talking about the principle of perpetual transmutation of energy. What does that mean? You ask yourself, because even science knows that everything is changing, everything is transmuting, nothing stays static. So, or stays like that forever. We are very different human beings than we were 5 years ago, and we're going to be very different in 5 years in the future. And that talks about that we are creating that reality constantly, depending on we're continuing transforming and transforming. Now we have more white hairs, or we have more wrinkles, or a kid, you can see the evolution of being a baby and becoming an adult to an older person, because there's law states that we're in a perpetual transmutation. You can see it in plants, you can see it in animals, everything. It is in perpetual transmutation. So, from a metaphysical perspective, this principle highlights the power of the intention and the free will. Science, since energy is always shifting, we have the ability to direct and influence that energy to create positive outcomes in our lives. This aligns with the concept of manifestation. Why? Because we understand that we're not going to stay there forever in this moment and forever. It is going to change. This is very, very helpful when you're depressed, that you understand this law precisely, that you know that you're in the perpetual transmutation. You're not going to stay depressed for the rest of your life. And if you remember that, it is easier to move from that emotion to the next one, so you can have a different life experience. Now, in the part of manifestation about that, if someone is seeking a promotion at work, they may start it by visualizing the desired outcome, like we talked in the past, affirming their worth and focusing on the energy and growth. And they know, and they have the confidence that they're not going to stay there forever. Like, let's say you're working a bank and you're a teller. You're not going to be a teller unless you choose different, of course, but you start visualizing, okay, one day I'm going to be the manager of the bank. And I imagine already that I am the manager of the bank. So you start getting the tools and so forth. So like that, you can get the studies or whatever, so you can become the manager of the bank, and you don't have to be a teller the rest of your life. But the opportunities are going to open for you when you put your wish and your visualization. What do you really want to be? You feel complete and fulfilled being the cashier, you're not going to imagine to be the manager of the bank. You're going to imagine continue being the cashier for the rest of your life. You see, we're creating the manifestation by this law of perpetual transmutation. We're creating the movement in our lives wherever we want to go. Obviously, the pessimist is going to have it hard, because the pessimists do not imagine pretty things or nice things in their future. They're always thinking in the bad things. But with this law of perpetual transmutation, it's going to take them to whatever they wish, whatever they program, whatever contract it comes out through their mouth. I'm never going to find love. Guess what? They're saying and they imagine that. That's what they're going to attract. So be aware of that. Now, when you are angry, instead of letting go that energy that consumes you, choose to channel it and understand that that is going to pass. You don't have to stay angry forever. So you know that that anger in this moment You can say to the person that you're angry, in this moment, I'm very angry. Just give me time so I can have the perpetual transmutation so it can change that energy. Go and walk, go and meditate, write it out, yell it out, whatever it is. So you know you can come back to your peace. You don't have to stay there unless you want to. So in the financial parts, imagine that you have financial struggles and that can be seen as a permanent state, but as an opportunity to shift your energy from a scarcity mindset of the lack of abundance. So if you feel that I'm always going to be poor, that I'm always going to have a lack of abundance and so forth, you're programming your life and you don't want to get out. But if you apply the law of the principle of the perpetual transmutation, you say, okay, in this moment, I don't have enough to buy a new computer, let's put it like that, or a new home, a new car, whatever it is that you want. But I know I'm going to have the money sooner or later so I can buy the new house, the new car, the new computer, new whatever you want. And you start bringing that abundance and you start imagining yourself creating that reality. Some of the laws are very similar. You just have a little difference between them. And a lot of it's intention and visualization. So we can transform them. If you want to, in the self improvement and growth, the principle is highly applicable in the personal development. You find yourself stuck in a negative habits and mindset, understand that energy is always changing, that can motivate you and take small steps to shift your current state. If you're feeling blocked, you don't have to stay there. That's a choice. Like one of my teachers told me when I started doing my inner work and my process, she told me, it is going to be as painful as you want. And I'm like, oh, I can change that. And I did. So it was became my transformation less painful. And that's a choice too. For example, adopting a daily practice of gratitude can shift the energy from negative to positive, which influence your actions and your outcome. Because remember, when we're grateful and we're saying thank you for everything, whatever we have, thank you for being healthy, thank you because I wake up and I am energized and I feel great and I know positive things are going to come in my life, being grateful, you're going to receive more what you were grateful for. So be aware of that. So in the business and creativity, let's say a business owner is facing a financial challenges, they may feel stuck and overwhelmed. By applying the principle, they can shift their focus to solutions, such as exploring new marketers, new rethinking, and it's basically is thinking how I can fix this problem. Right now, this program is not selling much. So how I can change this? And just saying how I can change this, you're opening to different possibilities and new strategies of how to sell your product or whatever it is. So be aware of that because you can change anything. In conflicts, in relationships, you're going to find the same thing. So it says, in this moment, yes, okay, I'm angry at my husband or my mate or my son or whoever it is. But you know that it's going to change in the moment you stop focusing in the anger. So you only focus on the anger, it's because they did this, and this to me, and they yell at me, and they did this to me. You're going to continue there. But if you apply the perpetual transmutation, the principle, you can say, okay, I know I can shift this situation. So I'm going to start thinking and treating my partner in a different way. Like one time I received an advice that it was very, very good. That it says, when they pick up the trash, I know that's their job to do it. Let's put it like this, it's their job to do it. But if they take the trash outside and you just be grateful when they come in, like, thank you for throwing the trash. Thank you for putting your dishes in the sink. Thank you for paying the bill. Whatever it is, you're going to be creating more of what you want. So apply this law. It might help you to change your reality. And I will see you in the next video that we're going to be talking about the principles of correspondence. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez. We're going to be talking about the law of correspondence. And the law of correspondence states that as is above is below, as is below is above. So basically, this principle, the idea of this principle is the harmony and is the agreement. It is the correspondence between different planes and existence, physical, mental, and spiritual. What happened in one level of reality, it reflects and influences the other realities at the same time. So you're thinking, I am sick. Oh my God, the doctor told me that I have this sickness and they cannot heal me and so forth. It is going to manifest easier in your thought, in your reality. It's going to be becoming really like the doctor said, because you have accepted. The principle corresponds in the second, in the seven laws of Hermes Trismegistus, express that the idea that of the harmony and agreements and correspondence between different planes and existence, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. The principle and the principle often summarized by the phrase as below, as so below, as below, as so above. So how is here is over there. So I apply this a lot in the personal level. Like if I wanted to know what someone is thinking about me, is how do I feel about this person? Oh, I don't like this person. It is too noisy, or it's too vulgar, or it's too this, or it's too that. I feel like that. Well, guess what? The other person is feeling exactly the same way as for me. Like it's like in a way that is above, it is below, like as is below, it is above. So like how is here is there, how is there is over here, in another way to say it. So be aware of that one, and you can, in a way, be more psychic. You want to put it like that. The core concept of the principle of correspondence suggests that the microcosmos in the microcosmos is this minor scale, you reflects the microcosmos at large. That's why they say that we have another, like we have mountains and rivers, we have a life outside on top of the planet Earth. That's why there is many theories that there is also one underneath of us and also in another planets. Because how is here, it should go also in below us with another cities and beneath us and under the earth and also in another planets. Why we think that we're going to be the only planet with life? By this law of the principal correspondence is talking about, and in other planets, it should be life like it is in this planet. So in the human body, the application will be the human body can be seen as a reflection of the large universe. Because you see, we have a universe inside of us. Just as the universe is composed and interconnected systems as a tools in the human bodies, you see in a way our molecules are all connected and communicating between them, and they form different organs like the heart, the liver, etc., and so forth. The same it is outside of us. So the law of correspondence, in a way, teaching us how if we wanted to understand how it works outside, or there's chaos outside of us, wars and so forth, there is also a chaos inside of us. We don't feel happy with the government, we don't feel like this and that. That is also happening in our nation. So let's put it in our human body. Consider the structure of an atom, where the electrons and orbits around the nucleus, similar to the planet's orbits around the sun. The human body, it is a complex system of organs and cells, each working with harmony, most likely like the planets in the solar system. So, and the stars and the galaxies and so forth, just exactly as we do in our own molecules. By studying the body, we can gain insight into the universe by understanding the cosmic patterns that can be better understood. We can see it in the society. We can see it in nature and technology. Like, for example, the design of a modern airplane, it is based on a principle of the bird flying. That's where it comes from. If we don't understand the bird, we would not have planes, and maybe not even rockets. Engineers study the structure of the bird wings to create efficient flying machines. So think about that. So we want to understand how to create things bigger than a little fly. We can, but we have to study the little one first so we can create the big one. In the chemistry of transformation, an example will be in a spiritual chemistry, the process of purifying and refining the soul to reach enlightenment corresponds to the physical process of turning lead into gold. Remember that's an old um, search that they've been trying, the scientists before even science became science. But in that time, they were trying to become uh, lead to gold. Both processing involves in the stages of purification and separation and recombination, reflecting similar principles in a different levels. So let's say you want to transform yourself, you have to do the inner work. It is not going to come out just charan. Now I'm illuminated. Now I am ascended, and I didn't have to do the shame and the blame and the guilt and the fears and all those. I did not have to do that work. That is not going to happen. You have to do the inner work, so then you can be reflected from outside. We see it more in astronomy or astrology. The astrologers observe the position of the planets and the stars at different time. A person birth interpreted just the personality traits and potential of life events. You see, the practice of based on beliefs that celestial events correspond to each one of the humans by their signs. So right now we're in Libra and we're going to pass to a Scorpio. So you can see that in the fractals too. In the fractals, there one little piece, it becomes you have seen these beautiful paintings that is from one little piece and it becomes a bigger picture. There's that fractal that I highly recommend to you observe because they have also a macro and microcosmos at the same time. You see, even a leaf that you can see the veins going outside and so forth, and then you see it in the whole nature, in the whole forest. It is just amazing. Now we're gonna go to the next video. Then we're gonna be talking about the principles of polarity. Hi, this is Monica Ramirez, Warrior of Love, and today we're gonna be talking about the principles of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. everything has their pair of opposites, the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the positive and the negative. This principle asserts that all things exist in pairs of opposites, like light and dark, hot and cold, hate and love. The opposites are different degrees at the same of the same thing. Think about it. So everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its own pair of opposites. Everything. Like in unlike like and unlike. The opposites are identical in nature, but in different degrees. Extremes meet all the time, like the yin and the yang. All the truths are, but half truths also are there. That's a paradox that we live in the principle of polarity. The core concept of the principle of polarity teaches that opposites are not separated or distinct, but they are different manifestations of the same thing. They are just opposites at the end of an spectrum. And you see a spectrum of when you're drawing, you can go from very dark to very light. In graphite, just make some lines in graphite and make it very soft and more hard, and it's going to become darker. They're all from graphite. They're different shades, but that doesn't mean that they're not shades. They're different, just different tonalities. Opposites are identical in nature, but in different degree, like making shading in graphite. The temperatures from hot and cold. And have you touched something that it is so cold that it feels hot? Or so hot that feels cold? That applies also for love. I am so in love with someone that sometimes I don't know if I want to see them. Or I hate someone so much that I want to see them. That is confusing, right? But well, we're talking about the polarities because at the end, it is the same thing. In the emotions between love and hate are emotions and they see opposites. But according to this principle, polarity, they're two of the same spectrum. So when someone hates you, it's because they're loving you. And if someone loves you, they can hate you. We have the light and the darkness. Light and the darkness are they're polar opposites. They're both related to the presence of the absence of light or excess of light. Truth and falsehood. Truth and falsehood are seen opposites, but they exist on the continued perception of understanding at the same time. So I want you to observe and think in examples. In the philosophy concepts of polarity, the good and the evil, good and evil are moral opposites, but they can exist in a continuum of a human behavior and intentions. You can love someone so much that you choke them with your emotion and you don't let them breathe. You see? And now I will see you in the next video that we're going to be talking about the law or the principle or rhythm. And this This principle says everything flows out and in. Everything has their tides and everything rise and fall. So basically, whatever it goes up is going to go down, and that's a rhythm. You cannot be happy all the time or mad all the time. You're going to go up and down. It have a rhythm. We already know that everything is in movement. But this one, it tells us that it's going to be ups and downs. So the principle of rhythm asserts that everything is flowing in and out, rise or fall, and moves in cycles. This principle can be observed in the natural world, humans' emotions, society trends, and even the process of mind and spirit. So you see it in fashions that goes, this is what is in, and later on, this is what is out. So you're living in what is you have to dress like in the fashion way. Yeah, that's those shoes that you bought $800. Right now they're in. Yeah, in a few months or in a year, 2 years, those are out. No one wants those shoes. Like the clothes of the 80s. I'm an 80s girl. So you know what I'm talking about. Now, you see it in the day or the night. We have the peak of the darkest hour of the night, and then we have the peakest hour of the day in the day. So this is a simple one to a concept to understand the principles of rhythm. In the human emotions, a person might experience a period of intense happiness followed by a phase of sadness and calmness. And it says, am I getting crazy? Everybody passed through that. It is not only you. So don't judge yourself so hard. In economics, you can see how sometimes it goes the cycles of the boom and the boost of different Tesla or whatever, it goes up, up, but sooner or later it's gonna go down. Why? Because this is one of the laws and it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter when, but it will happen. And you can see it with your energy. Right now, you have a lot of energy, and later on, you don't have a lot of energy. Nothing can stay perpetual, remember. So it have to be a law of in the laws of rhythm, in the principle of rhythm, it have to be a balance and the balance and harmony. The principle of rhythm teaches that everything has a time to grow and decline, opposites of contraction and expansion. So sometimes you're gonna feel your personal growth, your spiritual work, like expanding, 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 and then you're gonna feel contracting and contracting and contracting. That is part of the process. Don't get scared. Again, when you contract later on, you're gonna expand. There's always that gonna we're gonna be going to those rhythms. So don't get scared when you're feeling that is happening in your life. So we're gonna go to the next video. Of the In the next video, we're gonna see the principles of cause and effect. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, and we're gonna be talking today about the cause and effect. And another words for this one, it is karma and dharma. So these laws state that everything has an effect and everything has a cause. So the core concept of this one, it is that everything happens, everything affects you, your experience has an origin, basically a cause. Whenever that cause, it is physical, mental, or spiritual, the principle implies that by understanding and influencing the causes, we can change the effect. It also emphasizes that nothing happens for random chances. Everything follows for a logical sequence. Everything cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Everything that happens according to a law. Chances the chance it is a law per se. Nothing it is rec- recognized at the same time. There are many planes and causations, but nothing escapes the law. Let's say in the car, we're talking about the cause and the loss of the cause and effect, or karma dharma. That's another way to call it. In many cultures, they call them that. That if you do harm to someone because you were jealous or envy or whatever, that's the cause. Well, the effect is gonna be that person is gonna hate you, gonna try to destroy you, harm you, or something like that. That's the effect of your envy or your competition or whatever you did to that person. So that is a simple one to understand, guys. And the Dharma, it is if you do something good to someone, just because you wanted to do something good for someone, the effect it is gonna the effect it is gonna be you're gonna receive also abundance of love or companion or a good friend or loyalty, whatever it is, depending on what you did for someone else. The physical in the physics and natural laws, Newton's third law of motion states, for every action there's an equal opposite reaction. So as much as you do something good for someone or bad, you're gonna receive the payment back for the same thing that you did, good or bad. That's our choice what we're gonna do. In the health and life, if someone eats a diet in a high processed food and sugars, the cause is purely dietary choices, and the effect might be you're gonna gain weight or lower energy. You're gonna have health issues. Probably you're gonna even get diabetes. Why? Because you're eating too much sugars. So there's a cause and effect about the choices that we do about our healthy choices in the relationships. If a person constantly show kindness and support and understanding towards their partner, the cause of the positive behavior and effect are gonna be strong in a healthy and loving relationship. But if you treat your partner like, get out of here, you're an asshole, you're this, or you treat him horrible, you do not put attention to them, and he look for someone else or he asks you for the divorce, don't be surprised. That's the cause and the effect. In the career, a person who constantly works hard, improves their skills, and builds a network of professional contacts, that's the cause, is likely to experience a career advancement and recognition, financial rewards. Why? Because that's the cause and the effect. In education, it works the same. You study a lot, you're going to have good grades. So, in social and political movements, the civil rights movement in the United States was driven by a cause of the systematic racism and inequality and activism of the leaders like Martin Luther King. The effects were that now we have laws against that racism. My dad used to tell me that when he was little, he was born in the 24 United States, that they used to have signs in the restaurants, no dogs or Mexicans allowed. Well, obviously, that was the cause was the racism, and we have to go to a civil rights movement, and now that is not permitted anymore. Cause and effect. So think about that before you react and you act with someone, because you're going to pay for it sooner or later. There's always the law of cause and effect. So you can predict what is coming for you or what is coming for anyone by the law of cause and effect. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the principle of gender. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, and we're going to be talking about the principle of gender. The principle of gender, it is everything has a masculine and a feminine. I have a masculine, a male have feminine. We have both in ourselves and in everything that we observe and see. Source energy, in fact, has a male and a female energy. It is not female or is not male. So this states that the gender exists in everything and manifests in the masculine and the feminine principles. These principles do not prefer strictly or biological sex. So it's not telling you, oh, this has to be masculine or this has to be feminine. We have both, every single human being, we have both in ourselves. This principle of gender suggests that everything contains both masculine and feminine, the active and the assertive. If, and the feminine is more positive and receptive. Again, and clarify, the masculine is active and assertive. The feminine, it is passive and receptive. Energies that they have that interaction between these energies can cause the sustain of life. The principle of gender explains that everything in the universe has both masculine and feminine qualities, and that are necessary for the creation of the balance. The masculine energy is often associated with qualities like logic, assertiveness, and action. That's the male. And the feminine, it is associated with intuition, creativity, and nurturing. So, which parts are you using? Because we tend to use one more than the other. Single mothers, we tend to be carrying more male energy than female energy. That doesn't mean that we cannot be sweet with our kids and we cannot be creative. But if you're not creative, maybe your energy, it is feminine energy, it is dorm. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. Gender is everything. Everything, it has a masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests in all planes, the planes of the highest that interplay in the dual energy as the universe operates at every single level, from the physical to the mental and the spiritual planes. So tell me where the ideas are coming from. Think about that. The creativity, where is coming from? But where is the action coming from? The ideas, the creativity, the inspiration, how to fix solutions, it is the female energy. But the action taker, the one that's the doer, it is the masculine. Now, let's put it like this in personal development. A person is striving for success and in the career might initially rely on the masculine qualities like ambition, assertiveness, determination. However, to maintain the balance and avoid the burnout, they might also need to embrace the feminine qualities like patience, empathy, and self-care. They know they're gonna burn out and they cannot continue. In the interpersonal relationships, a romantic relationship in a partner might express more masculine energy by taking the lead with the partner on planning and taking decisions and making plans. You can see it in all the relationships we have that. Not necessarily how you see physically, it is the energy they have in there. While the other might express more feminine energy by providing emotional support and nurturing. There's always in a relationship that one is going to have more male energy and the other one is going to have female energy, and that do not have to do with because one was born male or the other one was born female. That's energy. So like I tend to do a lot of male energy in my house, and sometimes that's where the battle is. Okay, in the spiritual practice, Yoga, the concept of Shiva and Shakti, represents the masculine and the feminine energy. Shiva, it is the masculine. It is being seen the conscious of stillness, while Shakti, the feminine, is the dynamic and creative energy. The union of these two energies within a practitioner believing to be leading to a spiritual enlightenment. Think about that. Think about how we can have a unification between the two polarities that we have inside of us, the gender, the male and the female. And I will see you in the next video where we're going to be talking about the laws of harmony in the universe. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and today we're going to be talking about the harmony in the universe. Fundamental, this principle governs the universe, emphasized in an importance and equilibrium in all aspects of life, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. This law teaches that extremes in any area will eventually lead to correction that is it can they can fulfill them and maintain in a state of balance. The law of balance and the law of balance remind us that with the flow will best. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're going to be talking about in this video about the law of balance. It's basically understanding the harmony and the universe. Okay, the law of balance reminds us that there is a life flow between the best when we are in harmony with ourselves and the world around us, avoiding the trap of extremes. Understanding the balance means recognizing that too much or too little of anything creates disharmony. Whether there is overworking without rest, indulge without discipline, or focus solely only in logic at the expense of the emotions, imbalance leads us to stress, on exhaustion, or dissatisfaction, on burnout. The law of balance encourages to seek in a middle path that honors the aspects between our being and our relationship with others into the universe. The law of balance teaches that everything that in life exists with a dynamic system that thrives in equilibrium, just as nature maintains the balance through the cycles of the day and night, of our changing seasons too. You know, we always have to create that balance in ourselves. If we only work without rest, we're going to burn out. So be aware of that. Balance is not just about equal parts of everything. It is a harmony between both of them. It is like a kind of a dance. For example, work-life balance do not necessarily means spending the time amount of hours at your job and the times of at your house. It is having that balance. It means finding the right portion that allows you to thrive in both areas without neglecting each other. And the workaholics like I am, we tend to work more, work, without, hey, let's just today just relax and watch a movie or go out and have fun and laugh with friends. That it is very, very important. Over over indulgence, it is one area of the life it is inevitably lead us to neglect and the other one. The concept aligns with the ancient philosophy of Taoism, which emphasized that the harmony of the yin and the yang, the balance of the opposite forces that creates a unity. The law of this law also touches the idea of the duality of the and polarity, suggests that the opposites of such as good and it can be bad. light and dark, happiness and sadness necessarily are parts of the existence of the instead resisting negative experience or striving for constant positive. The law of balance encourages us to accept both sides of the spectrum, knowing that each serves the purpose of maintaining an equilibrium. If we see it in our health, a balanced existence in a routine might include strength and training, cardiovascular exercises, rest in the day, allows our body to recover to prevent injury. What happens when you do too much exercise in your legs? You're not going to be able to walk the next day. So, in the emotional part, in a clinical study, two patients might be given a placebo, but one of them who maintains an emotional balance and believes in their healing is likely to experience a better outcome because they are believing in that. Showing the balance through the emotions play a role in the physical recovery. Not necessarily because the placebo it is it is sugar pills, let's put it like that. But this pill is gonna save you, and they have faith on that. They're believing in that. That is gonna be created. In the manifestation practice, someone manifesting financial success might visualize their goal regularly and taking practical steps towards achieving, but they also maintain a balance and enjoyment. Let's say in the coaching business, I can tell you a lot of the times they tell me, are you enjoying it? What class you're teaching? And you're enjoying it? Because or else it becomes just a tedious job doing it. And the thing it is important that I enjoy it so I can give you a better service. You see the balance? In the emotional and, and, and the mental and emotional part, a person experiencing sadness may allow themselves to grieve, but also take time to self care and focus on the aspects of bringing joy. You know how many people we have grief or the loss of someone, and then we just sad and we stop eating, we don't want to get up. That is not bringing harmony in our lives. We need to maybe take a walk, maybe meditate, of course, eating. Take care of yourself too. That is important. So the applications for this law of balance is work and life. In the middle of the modern world, finding a balance between work and personalized life, it is a common challenge because money is always needed. Applying this law of balance here means that recognizing the need became time and energy for both areas, allowing us to dominate each other. So my guides are always reminding me, don't forget to laugh and enjoy it. So, in the spiritual practice, a person that spends all the time in spiritual practices but neglects the practical responsibilities, they may have feel on the ground. I have met people in this area that is like, I don't believe in laws. Yes, but they cannot have a passport, they have tickets, and they might own fines with the law, and if they don't pay taxes, they're gonna go to jail. So they have to believe it in, and they have to have a balance in there in their life. In the relationships, you give and give and give to the other person, but you never receive. You're not creating harmony. Let your partner also do things for you so they can create that harmony between both of you. In the manifestation, as individual manifest a dream house, focus on the goal, but also enjoy the current home. How many people you know that have all their life they have worked hard to have their dream home and they die because they never took time for them to take care of themselves or the health or the mental issues, whatever it was. It has to be a balance. I recommend you to ask yourself where in your life you're not bringing that balance.
Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And if you have been feeling stuck where you are right now, or if you have felt that you cannot connect with others in the same language or the same emotions that you're feeling, if you're a coach, a healer, energy worker,
in any of those branches, maybe this is for you because we have felt the disconnection for the rest of our family, friends, that we cannot connect to them. And we're so afraid to actually go deep dive when we're getting triggered by our own clients because we're seeing our mirror image with them. My name is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and that's my spiritual name. And I take clients from feeling confused and feeling stuck to feeling free, to feeling that they feel empowered from themselves. I created a system, Path to the Heart, that goes in 3 levels. And the first level, it is healing the inner child, healing the parts of us that we've been so afraid or it's very painful to do it. I have done it myself, not only with me, and I have done it with many of my clients that I take them to this process. The second level, it is to go more into inner self, clearing the family lineage, to breaking the contracts and vows, learning deeper more about the laws of the universe. And the third level, it is learning how to channel, how to do waking up your and getting online your gifts, your unique gifts that the world so much needs right now. So, if you wanted to know more about this, I am eager to show you and to teach you all what I know that I use every day in my life. So, thank you for being here in this page. I really appreciate it. And this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And we're going to go to the next law. There is understanding the law of abundance. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're going to be talking about the law of abundance, meaning applications of philosophical implications for this law. The law of abundance is the principle that teaches how the universe is limitless and always flowing, and opportunities are continuously, resources are and the possibilities are endless. That means that because I have money, that means that you don't have money. That doesn't work like that. And this law is basically of the law of abundance. It means that everybody in this world can have that law of abundance of whatever we want. We don't have to compete with anyone. The principle rests in the belief that what we focus on expand with wherever we put our energy, it will expand. So be aware where you're putting your focus. You're putting your focus on the lack, that is what we're going to have more. But if you put your focus on, I have $1, and that dollar is important. And you know what? Thank you for this dollar. I'm so grateful for this dollar. The universe is going to bring you more dollars like that. The law of abundance teaches that the universe operates in the principle of infinite supply. Everything that we need, we can thrive, whatever material, wealth, relationships, opportunities, personal fulfillment is available in the abundance. However, we must in the right mind and with the right mindset, of course. The law suggests that the lack mindset rather than a reality. When we shift from a scarcity mentality to abundance mentality, we can begin to see the possibilities that we always present. Gratitude plays a crucial role in this transformation. So you're thinking, I want $10,000 because I need to pay all these bills and so forth. And because when you're asking for $10,000, it's because you don't have it. But it says, thank you for the $10,000 that I already received, even if you haven't ever received it yet. And be grateful for that. That's how you receive it. Because gratefulness, it will bring you that. So always be grateful before you even receive that money. In the the implications of the abundance, in the philosophy part, the law of abundance applies to the universe inheriting in generous in a generous way. As individuals are deserving to receive everything, the universe wants to give you everything that you want. But and there is not a finite resource. Tesla can have millions of dollars, and that doesn't mean because he has millions of dollars, he have it all. I can have that too. You can have that too. We all can have that too. There is no point of envy or competition. The universe do not see as human beings do. So remove that from your head. There is not enough for everyone. That thought that it crosses over our heads and is not enough for everybody. If you think like that, that's what is going to grow. So we're co-creating our reality, thinking abundance for all. I always think if everybody have whatever they dream of, no one will be envy anyone. But that's part of what we need to understand. That why not wish for everybody to have something to eat and a roof and enough money to do whatever they want? Because me wishing it for everybody is also, and I'm grateful to the universe that everybody has that. I'm going to receive it myself too. Just be aware of if you're not feeling worthy of that abundance, it is harder to attract that. Let's make some practical examples about this. There's always a placebo effect. Like a person might be given a placebo effect for a pain relief. If they believe strongly that that treatment will work, it will work, guys. The manifestation, it is practices are deeply tied into the law of abundance, where you focus what you desire with a positive expectation, we invite you into our lives. By shifting our focus on the lack, that's also possible. We align to the frequency of the abundance becoming and receiving it. For an example, if someone is manifesting a financial success, they might practice visualizations, affirmations, and gratitude exercises that reinforce that belief they're already abundant. They might say, I am grateful for the wealth flowing into my life, writing that I need money. This shift in the mindset from need to gratitude creates the vibrational match in the abundance and the law of abundance, the desire helping to manifest that reality. So be aware when you ask for things. In the law of abundance, another example will be let's go into relationships. If the relationship practice in abundance might mean that give love freely without fear or rejecting without holding affection. So just love someone because it is in your heart, not because you're expecting to receive something from the other person. When we approach the relationship with an open heart and give without expectation, we can often receive more love in return. Similarity in business or sharing ideas, collaboration with others. That's why I don't mind all the time sharing with you guys. Because I can give you and give you and give you, but I receive and receive and receive at the same time. So don't hold information. The law of abundance directly impacts you how you perceive the reality. When we adopt an abundance mindset, we begin to notice opportunities, resources, and connections that might be have previously unlocked. This is because our perceptions shaping our beliefs. When we believe that the world is abundant, we're more likely to see the abundance in the world manifest. The scarcity mindset creates a sense of lack and fear. Individuals focus on the scarcity mindset might see life as a competition where there are limited amounts of success and happiness available. This mindset creates a resistance of the blocks of the natural flow and abundance. So be careful, not focusing on the scarcity. That's why let's put an example. Someone with abundant mindset might walk into a room and see the potential of networking, collaboration, and learning, while someone in the scarcity mindset might see only competition and obstacles. By choosing to focus on the opportunities instead of the limitations, the individual will open themselves for more possibilities. The doors will open, guys. Be grateful. Don't forget that. That is a very crucial for like that we can receive more. In generosity, you wanna someone be generous to you. Be generous yourself to other ones. And remember, the positive people are the ones that are gonna have it in a better way because they're gonna receive more of the law of abundance. A pessimist that is focusing on the lack, the possibilities for them are gonna be very tough to receive it. And know that you're worthy. That's why many people that win the lottery, they lose it in a year. In a few years, they don't have nothing, and they want millions, and it's gone because they don't feel worthy. So I remind you that you are worthy, that you deserve that money, so you don't have that issue. So embrace the law of abundance because that would teach you the overflow and limitless possibilities and resource opportunities for that can be aligned in your life for you. And I will see you in the next video. So where we're going to be talking about the law of free will. Hi, I'm Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're going to be talking today in this video the law of free will. Well, the law of free will, it is one of the most empowering and fundamental principles governing the human existence and emphasize on the freedom and make good choices to take actions, granting every individual the power of shape their own reality. The law of free will teaches that while the universe operates under certain laws and principles, such as the law of attraction, cause and effect, we ultimately have the ability to choose how we respond to these laws, creating a path of and exercise our autonomy. It is a recognition of our innate capacity to make the decisions and align our personal desire and beliefs and intentions. The law highlights while the external circumstances can influence our lives, the ultimate authority over the destiny it lies completely on us. If we have accepted that abundance, that love, that job, that whatever we want, the choices that we make consciously or unconsciously are gonna be manifested. We free will, it is that we are making the choice to accept the good things or the bad things in our lives. This means that the law of free will is the principle that we can control our actions and thoughts and decisions. They're completely ours, guys. Yes, it might be influenced by the law of karma and so forth, by the other laws, but you are making the choices at the end. What do you want to do with your life? The law of free will carry a profound philosophical implications that intersects with ideas determining fate and a responsibility. The law applies that although certain aspects of our lives might seem predetermined, such as the family we were born into, specifically challenge we're facing, we have always have the freedom of choose. Right? Let's put it like that. When I was married to my third husband, that he used to beat me, I am the one that asking for the marriage. I choose that marriage. I say yes when they ask me, the minister, to marry us. I choose that, and I choose to divorce too. That was my free will. Yes, I can have a victim mentality that it was his fault. No, in reality, it was mine. I'm responsible for that free will. So be aware how many times you guilt something or someone for the things that you have to work on yourself. I know that you deserve it. You're worthy. The law of free will, it works with the law of attraction at the same time. It teaches that we attract like whatever is vibrating, remember? Free will will play a crucial role in setting the intentions and taking the inspiration and action and responding of the opportunities through the conscious choices. Individuals can align their energy and actions with their desires, increasing a likelihood or manifesting those desires in reality. Let's put an example. Suppose that someone wants to manifest a new job. The law of attraction can help them visualize and align the energy of the goals, but the law of free will that empower them to take necessarily actions such as applying for jobs, preparing for interviews, or following the leads, or saying yes to that job. Oh, that job is too much for me. It is. Maybe you're feeling like you're not worthy, but that's a choice that you're making and making that choice. In the relationships, you can accept someone that treats you terrible, like I did, or someone that treats you good. That's a choice. We always have that choice. Let's put another example. Two individuals that might experience the same job loss, they fire them. But one of them sees as a failure, while the other one sees as a chance to pursue a new fulfilling career, a new certification to get a better job. That's a choice that you're making from something terrible that happened, that you lost your job. So the application for this will be like the empowerment and decision making. The law of free will empowering individuals to take control and decisions on the making the process instead of feeling stuck and helpless in the life challenges. Let's put an example. It's a stressful work environment. You have the free will to choose whether to stay in that job or leave it, or find ways to improve your situation, setting boundaries or speaking to your supervisor, or looking for another job. If we take responsibility of our choices, the free will emphasizes the personal responsibility. When we acknowledge that our choices are shaping our reality, we stop blaming the external circumstances and instead we focus on what we can do to change that situation. For another example, if someone is unhappy in their personal life, the law of free will encourages them to reflect on that choices that you have done to be where you are. Where you're choosing to stay in a unhealthy relationship or tolerate that negative behavior, or not to pursue their dreams and make you accordingly. Like I choose to stay with my parents to the last day of my parents were alive. That was a choice. And yes, I can say, oh, it was the fault of my mother that she wanted to live in McAllen and so forth. Yes, but at the end, I choose to stay in McAllen to take care of my parents, my mother to the last day. That was a free will choice that I did. So the law of free will is an empowered reminder for our autonomy and responsibility that comes with it. While the universe offers guidance, opportunities, and circumstances, it's our choice that determine the direction of our lives. We have the freedom to shape our reality through our thoughts, action, and responses for whatever circumstances we're coming from. So, what are you saying yes and what are you saying no? Just put attention to that. That can be a game changer in your life. Remember, you always, at the end, you're the one that chooses your life that you want. Hi, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. and we're going to be talking about the law of truth. The law of truth, it is a fundamental principle emphasizing the power or the importance of living and align with one personal universal truth. It teaches that the truth is inherent part of the universe and that by be embracing, we align ourselves with a natural flow of life. The law invites you to seek honesty, authenticity, and integrity of your thoughts, words, and actions. Remind us that living truthfully leads us to a greater clarity and peace and harmony. That is coherence, guys. When I was with the Native Americans, they told me, be careful with the people of double tongue. And they were talking about this. Double tongue is they think one thing, they say another thing, and they do a very different one. You never know with that people. So try to always to be coherent with yourself, with your thoughts, sayings, and actions. The law of truth operates under the premise that they were both personal truth or our inner convictions and experience and feelings. And universal truth will reflect the timeless principles such as love, compassion, and justice. When we live in alignment in our truth, we create an authentic life, free of illusions of falsehood and self deception. The laws teach us that the truth is liberating and transformative, and by embracing it, we can live a more fulfilled and coherent life. The law of truth is also about aligning your reality as it is. This is where I am. I might not have the job perfect that I want. I might not have the money perfect or the relationship perfect that I have. So for I know where I am. Because if you lie to yourself, you cannot change it. So it is important, the law of truth, that understand, yes, I'm feeling angry. Yes, I'm feeling shame. Yes, I'm feeling blame, whatever it is. So then you can change it. But if you're not truthful, you cannot change anything. So practical examples in the manifestation, let's put an example. If someone is trying to manifest a relationship, but they're not honest with themselves about their emotional readiness and motives, they may attract a relationship that do not fulfill the deeper needs. By aligning the truth, that goes like with the people that settle. And it's like, oh, I'm not happy. Yes, but you settle for whatever came. So we're not being truthful for yourself. So that is not going to fulfill you. That is that relationship. The law of truth significantly impacts how we perceive the reality. It teaches that what we believe to be true shape our experience in the world. When we embrace the truth, we align ourselves with our reality, allowing us to see a life greater clarity and understanding. So, whatever you deny yourself, self deception, or avoidance, we distort our perception and make it harder to navigate in the life that you choose to have because you're not being truthful to yourself. So, when you are truthful to yourself and you're applying the law of truth, your your personal growth is going to start healing. That's how I start healing. Learning, it is not an easy job to say, I choose that husband that used to beat me. I choose to stay 5 years. It was a tough one. It was easier to kill the guy, but I was not being truthful for me. And the moment I start being truthful for me, things start shifting inside of myself. And in the manifestation, okay, yes, I have the thought that I'm not worthy or that I don't value myself. But when I understand that I'm being truthful to myself, then I can shift it that I am worthy and I value myself. The same applies for self love. So it is important to always be truthful. And I will see you in the next video. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're going to be talking about the law of purpose. So, the law of purpose is a fundamental principle that suggests that every individual is born with a unique purpose of and mission. This law teaches that life it is not just a random. Instead, is I'm sorry. Instead of each one of us is specifically a role that gives us the gifts and offers the lessons that we're going to be learning. The law of purpose emphasizes that giving an alignment with our purpose and bringing a meaning, fulfillment, and sense of direction in your life. It encourages the self-discovery and the pursuit of passions, remind us that the purpose of guiding the force of journey and growth and transformation. This law operates on the belief that life is inherent and a meaning for each person and purpose contributes a larger fabric of the universe. Whether your purpose is related to a career, a relationship, or creativity, or personal development, fulfillment, it is not only that brings joy and satisfaction, but also help us to uplift others and contribute to the collective good, the microcosmos. The meaning of the law of purpose. The law of purpose is rooted in understanding that everyone has a unique calling, a reason for being here. You have your talents, your passions, your experience that they're unique as anyone else. Purpose can take many forms and develop time, but it always points towards activities and relationship and goals. The purpose is not necessarily a grand monumental task, but often resides in the smaller meanings and acts of everyday to day. Whenever you are going to a profession or personal relationships or acts of kindness, according to this law, when we live in alignment with our purpose, we experience a sense of flow, ease, and inner peace. When we stay in our purpose, we may feel when we're not in our purpose, we're gonna feel lost, we're gonna feel disconnected and fulfilled. Our life is gonna be miserable. The law of purpose offers a perspective on the meaning of existence. It takes the idea that life and serial random effects that humans are simply product of a chance. Instead of this law suggests that every life it is intentional and each person has a role to play and the grand science of the universe. This belief fosters sense of responsibility, not only on oneself but also on the world, as reminds us of fulfillment and the purpose contributes to the well-being of the collective. The law also intersects in the existential questions about the meaning of fulfillment. Purpose provides a sense of direction that help us provide and navigate challenges and make us decisions and perceive through the difficulties. If you don't have a purpose, you're going to feel lost. Now, let's put an example. If someone is manifesting a new career and they make likely to achieve success, if the career aligns with the talents, values, and passions, for instance, a person with that passion for creativity, mindset, opportunities in art, science, or writing, whether someone was a strong desire to help others, may manifest opportunities in healthcare, counseling, or education. By connecting the manifestation to purpose, we ensure that our calling is into our lives resonating that with a true self. Let's put an example. My dad wanted me to become a bookkeeper. That was his dream life for me. I am dyslexic and I do not like numbers, to be honest. I'm more an artist. I'm always being more creative. If I fulfill the purpose that my dad have for me, I will be miserable in that job. So I went for the arts, even if my dad did not approve it. Why? Because that was not gonna make me happy, the numbers and being a bookkeeper. That did not is not my life purpose. It's not what I really want to do with my life. So are you doing the life that you want? Let's go with another example. A person who feels called to teach might experience immense joy and satisfaction for helping other students learning and growing. It really makes me happy to be teaching you and you're understanding me when I'm teaching it. On the other hand, if someone is working in a job that doesn't align in the talents or passions, they might feel stuck and bored, uninspired, aligning with the purpose. Whether there's teaching, creating, or helping others, bring a meaning to your life. Look for that meaning for your life. Now, many kids go to college to see what is the career that is going to pay more, even if they hate it. They're not going to be happy with their life. So, I would recommend you to find the law of purpose in yourself, to find who you truly are, what passion you, what move you, because then the doors are gonna open easy for you. So, and you're gonna have less challenges when you're doing what you were supposed to be doing. And remember that each person is unique and special with all the experience that you have had, with all the knowledge that you have. And there is a job for you, there is a purpose for you. The law of purpose encourages you to self discovery, your purpose driven manifestation, and align both career and personal life and their balance. By living in harmony with your purpose, you experience deeply sense of fulfillment and joy and connection with the world around you. And you want to give to everybody because you're so happy and you find your purpose. Embracing the law of purpose allow you to live authentically and contribute meaningfully for and navigate the challenges and confidence with more clarity. So find your purpose. See you in the next video that we're going to be talking about the principle of relativity. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're going to be talking about the principle of relativity. The principle of relativity, it is the key concept between metaphysical and the physical to the interpretation of the difference between the fields. The metaphysical term, principle of relativity, suggests that everything is neutral until we assign a meaning based on our perception. Nothing is inherently good or bad. It's our comparison in that situation to another defines the value. So if you compare it, if you judge it, you're putting a value to it. This principle is often summarized by the idea that all the experiences that we have are relative and influenced by a personal perspective. The apple, if you don't like apples, you're gonna be putting judgment in that apple. But if you have never tasted the apple, you're just gonna have curiosity, you're just gonna observe the apple. So the principle of relativity emphasizes that there is not absolute experience in life. Your experience does not have to be my experience, or my experience do not have to be your experience. Everything is relative. Nothing exists as a vacuum. The richness or difficulty of any situation, it is often determined by how we compare uh, to something else and occurs in our lives. For example, financial abundance means different things to different people based on the personal experience. Someone might feel wealth with $50,000 a year, but another might feel financially strained earning that much money. And maybe $1 million for some people will be, that's a lot of money that I can live forever with abundance. And for Tesla, $1 million is just nothing. It's just the sale of 4 cars or 3 cars. So it is depends on the perspective that we have. The principle of relativity brings us a question of being objective versus subjective. It challenges the notion that there is an absolute truth, standards which can be measured and experienced. Instead, it suggests that truth, value, and meaning are subjective and shaped in that context. The idea resonates an existential philosophy where individuals are seen responsible for creating their own meaning of life. So the comparison, it is the root of the human of judgment. We're always comparing everything and we feel lesser or more, or we feel that we don't worthy comparing to what. We're constantly evaluating ourselves and our experience in relation to others, which can be leading to the feeling inferiority or superiority or dissatisfaction. By recognizing these judgments are based on relative perspectives, we can free ourselves from needing constantly measuring our worth according to others. Let's put an example. If someone is manifesting a promotion but compares for the highest paying job that a friend already have, they might feel disappointed rather than satisfied with their achievement. The principle of relativity highlights that the need to focus on your own growth and your own progress rather than that trying to compare it with anyone else. Put another example that is from personal growth and achievement. You're training for a marathon and you improve your running time by 5 minutes. That improvement might feel small in comparison to someone that have that do 20 minutes. However, based on the starting point, that 5 minutes improvement might be a significant achievement for you. The principles teach us that our focus in our journey rather than the comparing ourselves to others. So where do you compare yourself? Ask yourself for those questions. So the meaning and expectations. Understanding the principle of relativity can help you us maintain the expectations by encouraging us to set goals on a personal base, growing individuals in the progress rather than comparing to external standards. So everybody has their standards. So just don't play in that game of the standards of others. Don't compare yourself with others because there's gonna be always people higher than you or lower than you. And that's their own process. That you should not be there. In emotional intelligence, applying the principle of relativity can provide emotional intelligence by helping individuals recognize when they're feeling the frustration or inadequacy and results unnecessarily comparison. By learning shifts this perception, we can cultivate more peace and self-acceptance. You feel inadequate because someone else seems more successful or happier. Remind yourself that their success doesn't diminish your worth. Recognizing that your feelings are relative to your internal comparison can help you dissolve the negative emotions. Where do you compare yourself? And I will see you in the next video. Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And we're going to be talking today about the principle of compassion and unconditional love. The principle of compassion suggests that love, empathy, understanding are core elements of the universe design. This principle teaches that everything and everyone inherently worthy of love, regardless of what actions or flaws or circumstances they have. In metaphysical terms, it is believed that unconditional love it is the highest frequency or vibration in the entire universe. That that this energy has the power to heal, transform, create unity, and protect. Compassion and unconditional love are also central to many spiritual traditions. In the Buddhism, for example, compassion is known as karuna. It is viewed as one of the most highest virtues alongside all loving and kindness. In the Christianity, the concept of agape or selfless, unconditional love is often considered the purest form of love, means to be extended towards all beings. These principles are not only spiritual ideas, but also metaphysical laws to suggest that the energy of love and compassion can affect the flow that creates the harmony in the universe. The philosophical and metaphysical implications for the law of unconditional love implies that loving others or ourselves without judgment or condition, we align ourselves with the highest spiritual energy. This type of love transcends the ego, the selfishness, the desires, the dualistic thinking, good, bad, them, us. It teaches that we're all connected as a fundamental level in showing love and compassion elevates not only individual beings, but the collective consciousness. When you remove the judgments of any situation, you can become better the observer and you can pure love that. Let's put an example in this one. One of my biggest teachers about unconditional love, it is my dog. He had passed through hell. Believe me, I adopted him and he was passing through hell. And he had a bunch of traumas when he arrived with me. But even then, he was just a loving animal. It doesn't matter if I'm moody, if I'm sad, if I'm working all the time, he just sit down behind me. And he just there with me all the time. And he just, if I get close, he just kiss me and kiss me and kiss me and kiss me. Even if I don't put attention to him in hours because I'm working, he just waiting to love me. Observe your pets. They tend to love you no matter what. And if we had the capacity to love others with that intent, with that capacity like the animals, the world will be very different. When you carry a baby for the first time in you and you just love that baby, you're not thinking, oh, why the nose is smaller or bigger or the hair black or white or whatever it is. You just loving the baby. You're not putting judgment in that. The judgment is what is the one that keep you blocked. So unconditional love begins with oneself. By practicing self-compassion, we foster the sense of worth, and healing enables to be compassionate towards others. When you love ourselves without the judgment, we allow ourselves to grow, heal, and overcome obstacles. The self-acceptance opens up to our ability to extend the love outwards. Take an example. If someone is strong into self-love and guilt practicing on self-compassion, allow them to release these negative emotions and embrace the imperfections. You want to lose weight? Embrace imperfections. By cultivating this inner love, they naturally become more loving and accepting to others, creating a ripple effect of kindness and understanding. For another example, in a partnership, unconditional love means supporting your partner even when they're making a mistake with their own actions don't align with your preference. They say, I don't want my husband me moving to Alaska, but he really wanna go over there. Okay, I will still love him and send me postcards from Alaska. It doesn't mean that tolerating a harmful behavior, but rather approaching the relationship with empathy and understanding, seeking to uplift each one of each other with kindness. When you have served to others, the compassion is often manifest through the service to others. Acts of kindness, kind, kinding, kind, kindness, charity, and support extend to those need to example how you can embody the law of unconditional love. When we give without expecting anything in return, we tap in the flow of the universal love, which often towards our inner peace and fulfillment. Let's say volunteering in a shelter, offering emotional support to a friend, increases are acts of compassion that aligns the principle of unconditional love into our lives. These actions not only help us to elevate our own vibration, contributing to this, we're changing the world. So my question to you is, what kind of world do you want to live in? Some of the applications for the principle of compassion and unconditional love, it will be in healing and forgiveness. It is easy to heal and forgive others when we're loving them without a much judgment. Your daily interactions are going to change at the same time because you're emanating that love that now your energy, because when you're in the conditional love, your energy grows. So whatever you encounter around you, it is going to be coming with that unconditional love for you. So try to embrace the principle of compassion and conditional love to your life. And you are going to see how you can change that super fast. See you in the next video. Hi, everyone. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And we are going to be talking about the understanding the law of gratitude. The law of gratitude is a power principle to emphasize the importance of appreciating what we already have in life. It teaches that the focusing on the feeling of grateful represents a moment. As part of the abundance that surrounds us, we invite you more positive opportunities and abundance in our lives. This law operates on the idea of the gratitude is a frequency vibration. That when we align ourselves to that energy, we become the magnets for more blessing and successes of joy. Like we have talked before, the universe is listening to you. It will bring you more what you're grateful for. The law of gratitude is a fundamental to many spiritual and metaphysical practices. It reminds us that when we express genuine appreciation for our current situation, when our relationships, material possessions, or personal growth, we shift our focus from lack to abundance. The shift in mindset allows us to experience more fulfillment and open ourselves to a greater possibilities. The law of gratitude is about recognizing and valuing the goodness in our lives. It is about focusing on what is working well rather than the lack of what is going on. By appreciating what we have, we raise our vibration frequency and attract more of what we want in our lives. Gratitude shifts the mindset over scarcity to abundance, making more perceptive to express our experiences. Gratitude is also about being present and recognizing the riches that are current in the moment. It also encourages us to move away from worrying about the future and regretting the past and instead focus on the present and opening our heart. The practice of gratitude teaches that the constant available times regardless of external circumstances. Remember that in the first model, in the level one, it was the morning routines. I always tell you to do the be grateful in the mornings when you open your eyes. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for this house. Thank you for having food. Thank you for my kids. Thank you for love. Thank you for health. Thank you for things. And you will receive more of that gratitude from the universe. So gratitude is a deeply tied ethical living philosophy. It teaches that humility and fosters a sense of responsibility to give back. When we are grateful for the gifts that we have, we naturally feel compelled to share in abundance with others, whether through acts of kindness, generosity, or service. And that's what we need to do to create a difference in the world. Practical examples of the practical examples of the law of gratitude. The placebo effect. And a patient receiving a placebo effect might feel grateful for the opportunity to receive the treatment and optimistic about the effects. Guess what is going to happen? Probably is going to heal because it is being grateful and is having faith and is being optimistic. So probably is going to heal super fast. In the manifestation practices, if someone is manifesting financial success, they might start by expressing gratitude for the money they already have, no matter how little. By focusing on the abundance they require to possess, they shift the energy from lack to abundance, making them more likely to have more additional financial opportunities. Gratitude also helps us to detach from the outcome instead of being consumed by the anxiety over where their manifestation will happen. That can focus on our being grateful for the present moment. These detachments allow us to manifestation to unfold naturally in the alignment and universal timing. So try to embrace the law of gratitude because that would teach you how to focus on positive aspects of our lives. We align ourselves with the energy of abundance and we will attract more of what we are grateful for. Gratitude is not only a reaction of good things happening, it is a positive practice that you can transform your mindset, relationships, overall well being. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift after focus from scarcity to abundance. In the applications for the law of attraction, it will be the first step, it will be basically be clear in what you really want. By asking yourself the questions in your dreams, ask what you really want. Now, in the law of attraction, I'm gonna give you one of the one of the techniques that we do in NLP that is very, very helpful for achieving it. First, you're gonna ask, what do you want? Start by identifying your desires and clarity, knowing that what you truly want, whether it's success, love, abundance, or peace, clarity, or essentials of setting intentions. What are my dreams? With all the details that implies in it. The more details that you can put in your dreams, start imagining that you can do it and visualize it. 3, imagine yourself in that dream, living that dream, that goal that you want. Take a moment and see yourself in that dream. If you can imagine, it will be difficult to manifest. Visualization is the key for this dream. 4. Have I lived? Have I? Can you imagine yourself living that before? Reflects on the past experience that are very similar to whatever you want to achieve. By acknowledging the past success, you reinforce the beliefs that your dream it is possible. 5. Have you seen other people realizing what you dream of? Look to others who are living your dream. This reinforces the idea that it is attainable, that you can achieve it. 6. If you live, if you live that dream, how will feel like in your own body? Tap into the emotions of in your dream. Feel those emotions as if they were already in the present. These emotions alignment essential attracting your own desires. 7. What emotions will be living in the dream, living in there? Would you feel it in your body? Would you feel it in the stomach, in your heart? Where would you feel it? What will be the next steps to follow through so like that you can achieve your dream? And this is possible to achieve it in your dream. To finalize, the law of gratitude, it is be grateful for the beautiful human being that you are and see you in the next. That it is the law of attraction.